podcast is brought to you by the Patterns of Possibility, where we help people make more meaningful relationships in both their personal and professional life. Hi, I'm Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I want to welcome you to the Engaged Employee Podcast. Our mission is to emphasize the relationship between the employee and the workplace with the goal of enhancing engagement levels to create a more productive and satisfying work environment. While many organizations strive to create a more engaging atmosphere, they often miss the mark by forcing connection with big team building events like axe throwing or escape rooms. Those activities only leave employees with a short-lived sense of belonging. Organizations may also try smaller and more suffocating events like happy hours or group birthday celebrations that their employees feel obligated to attend. As a social connections and business culture coach, I've found that to create a stable, engaged, and productive workforce, there needs to be a shift in focus from mandatory fun and manufactured connection towards building trust and authentic conversation. Join me and a guest as we dive into social wellness strategies for the individual employee, techniques for developing interpersonal relationships with coworkers, and even some approaches for leaders to enrich the overall organizational culture. The Engaged Employee Podcast starts now. Welcome to the Engaged Employee Podcast. My name is Coach Lee, and our guest today is Kate Bays. Kate is an engaging and energetic leader, captivating audiences with her passion. Her expertise lies in coaching, communication styles, and skill recognition. And with just the right levels of gumption and grit, she founded her own company, Virtual Agility and Heart-Shaped HR, where she serves a wide range of global clients, providing facilitation as well as technical and engagement support. She's a forward-thinking entrepreneurial spirit who finds her niche in charismatically supporting the needs of their clients and their business climate. She fuses her TV news background with her leadership consulting experience in creating video content that helps job seekers and corporate clients shine on her differentiators while simultaneously helping to engage employee engagement, attraction, and retention. Our conversation today will be focused on interpersonal relationships between coworkers and colleagues. And y'all, I'm so excited for this one because Kate is a blast. Are you ready? I'm going to bring her out. Kate, welcome.
Yes, I'm so excited to be with you, Coach Lee.
We're talking behind the scenes and I'm feeling that energy just vibe already through me.
I love it.
Yes.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to hear more about your story because I asked about your experience and you're like, TV, toxic, stories abound, expectations, ridiculous, relationships, fake.
Right? Real deal.
Yeah,
Real
it's the
deal.
real deal. And that's why we want to have these kind of conversations because everybody's pretending like it's not happening, but they're grumbling underneath their breath and they're just going about the motions and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So I'd be curious to know, as my audience, is how did you get into this? What is it that you do and how did you get into this profession?
Well, I don't take anything away from TV in the fact that it brought me to where I am. I'm very grateful. I don't think that I would ever relive or want to redo on any of my life experiences because they are all the building blocks of who Kate is today. There is no erasing or redoing, like this is how I got here.
Absolutely.
So through all that toxicity and through all of that fakeness, I realized this is just not me. I had high blood pressure as a 20-some-year-old in television, and I don't now. It was freedom. It was just finding that freedom. It was coming to that realization that you don't have to stay in a place that is making you that unhealthy, that set day after day.
Day after day, just being in a place where the expectations are really high. And I know the goals are seemingly impossible. You need more hours than than a day has to put
Yes.
in to actually meet those goals, and it just can drive someone just mad.
Yeah.
And so you've decided you're not doing that anymore. What
No.
was the so just out of curiosity, I want to know what was the point where you decided that, it was enough and that you were going to pivot, take that grit and gumption and pivot to the new place.
I think it was a huge turning point in my life. I was starting to have children, and I realized that I couldn't be going through all of the things that you go through as a pregnant woman and bringing new life into the world as a head case. I
Mm,
just couldn't. I mean, I couldn't have high blood pressure and all of those issues. I couldn't be that dedicated to something that toxic when I needed to focus on what was really important, and that was having children, and then being present to in the way that I wanted it to be for my children.
of course. Yeah. That is one of the biggest changes in our lives when we realize that we see ourselves reflected or we see what we could do for this little one,
Right.
that we just change,
Yeah.
not for necessarily the wellness of ourselves, but we see that person and we're like, oh, I've got to be well. I've
Yes.
got to do that. I've got to
Yes.
do that. And so what is it that you do for your clients and how do you help them with your new services?
Yes. So, a little bit more to tie that segue from TV to now. I had the opportunity to teach adjunctly while I was in television news, and I taught public speaking and English and reading, college English and college reading. And I realized that I love adult learners. So, here I am a couple years after getting out of TV, and I segued into facilitation and learning to, you know, leadership training, helping other leaders who are starting companies or mid-level leaders, women in leadership, going through all of the things that we're talking about, going through the toxicity and learning about creating a better culture, a healthy culture where we do feel energized and empowered and want to come back to work every day. So that has been an incredible journey. It feels fulfilling. I finally feel like I am where I'm supposed to be in life. I'm so grateful that I finally got here. I
Absolutely.
love those aha moments.
Yes,
Yeah,
the pain is a great teacher, and I understand. I
it
mean,
is.
I've had my own pain and frustrations, and that I can see through it, and that's
Yeah.
what drew me to coaching and helping people who
Yes.
are in the position that I was maybe 10, 15 years ago to come out to the other side and feel a little more relieved. So
Yes.
I'd be curious to know, how do you help your clients with this, the burnouts, the
Mm.
frustration that may come with toxic environments? Tell us about some experiences you've had to help your clients.
I do feel like I hear a lot of the same types of woes, a lot of the same types of heartaches and issues. And I'm working really hard to help companies and teams build trust together, to create psychological safety. That's a really big part. Emotional intelligence, psychological safety, those things really matter. And it's interesting how little I think we actually talk about the necessities of what those things are and what it might mean very specifically to me or to you, and not just having a one size fits all for our team, but helping people to realize and connect with everyone on their team or everyone they're interacting with, their customers, their vendors, whatever, so that we're building that relationship together and we have a better understanding together where there's just some magic that happens, some synchronicity when you actually take the time to get to know a person, not a product, an actual
Yes.
person.
We are people that work for organizations. We are not products or machines. And so getting to know us too as peers, it's really great. So how do you start or help them have these conversations or have the conversations where we create the psychological safety? Because before, even though a company may say, hey, be your authentic self, bring your authentic self to work, your whole self to work, it still doesn't click on
Mm-mm.
exactly how one can do that, because I know it didn't click for me. So how do you start that conversation when you go into an organization? How do you help facilitate that?
I think expectations and accountability play into that a lot. We need to know within a company what are some of those expectations. When I say be your authentic self, that doesn't mean if um, you typically are a gamer and you really enjoy gaming, a good portion of your day, that you get to bring your gaming device to work or spend a bulk of your day gaming. While we appreciate that you have all of that tech savvy, maybe we find ways to make that authentic skill that is authentically you part of what you do. That's part of all of this too. Realizing what lights people up, what makes people tick. Why are they so good at what they do? Maybe it is something like gaming and they have that tech savvy that would be really crucial to some projects that we have, or some things that are coming down the pike that we never even explored. Because when did we ever have a conversation about someone gaming? But yet, things like that can lead to other parts of what we do, and just getting to know people on a different level. It makes all the difference. And even with the heart-shaped HR thing, and I keep seeing my the link pop up at the bottom. I wanted to mention this too, if you don't mind. The differentiators, the whole idea behind heart-shaped HR and creating a video cover letter so that you can shine and be your authentic self. I'm helping people there in a different way. I'm helping people to create a video cover letter so that I can help extricate, because sometimes it's not easy for us to share all of the great things and all of the things that we might know that we're good at. It's hard to articulate that. So I use those television reporter skills, and I do a little digging, and I interview kind of like this. I ask them, and then I might repeat back, well, it sounds like you're really great at project management, and you have great organizational skills, and you're really able to rally people and get them enthusiastic about moving forward, building a plane in flight, whereas that we don't know a timeline, and you're willing to just get going and get moving on a project, pull people in, and keep moving. So I love that I'm able to help other people in that way to shine. That, I think that's what this is all about. We rise by lifting others, and it's truly a magnificent thing when you get the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing about the virtual cover letters. That I think that's really interesting. It's an interview to reflect, to understand more about who I am and how somebody else
Mhm.
might perceive me too. Because I think in
True.
our interpersonal relationships, if we're talking to our coworkers, we're not really sure how other people are going to receive us
Yeah.
either. And it's really helpful to have someone like you reflect that back to us, and even watch us on a video, watch ourselves on a video. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I said that. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we don't believe the things we hear until we say them. We don't
It's
believe the
really
things that are
true.
inside of our head until we say the thing. I'm like, "Oh, I believe that," or "I didn't
Yes.
know that about myself." So it's a really great discovery tool,
Yeah.
and able to and a tool to connect with others. I firmly
Yes.
believe that you can't connect with anyone until you know yourself. So
Yes.
that bit of reflection will help you connect with your coworkers and share more about what it is you do. And I think if you're shy about this, this probably isn't a thing that you do, but I would share this with my coworkers. This is my cover letter. This is what I
Yeah.
do as well. This is how I
Yeah.
am. This is how I show up, and
Right.
get some feedback. I think that'd be a fun little exercise for a small team, is to do those cover letters and then just talk to each other about what we've noticed. What we've
I like
noticed.
that idea. That's a
Yeah.
great idea. Yeah, because so often we don't have those sidebar conversations. We're just getting it done. We're moving at such a quick clip all the time. We don't spend a lot of time getting to know each other.
Yeah, and that's the key, building that
Yeah.
engagement, having people feel like they're a part of a team because this person cares about me. They know that I like to play video games, or they know that I like board games, or they know something else about me outside
Yeah.
of work, or maybe about how I feel about things at work. They know that I'm the person that they can talk to.
Yeah.
So, with all of that said, I'm very excited to ask you this last question, because all I am is just a ball of excitement, apparently,
I
today.
love it, Coach
Just,
Lee.
just a ball of excitement today. All right. So, my question is for you: actionable steps. Can you give my audience one actionable takeaway that they can have? Say they're struggling to connect with their coworkers, they're
Yeah.
having difficulty with these interpersonal relationships. What could you tell them to help them on their journey?
I think I learned a lot from, and it was a podcast that I was watching on LinkedIn fairly recently, about an 80-20 split. And I won't get into the specifics of who or what, but an 80-20 split. I think we spend a lot of time, 2 ears, one mouth. Spend more time getting to know people, asking people questions instead of talking about yourself. Just make it an actual part of your daily shtick and get to know somebody new every day. Make eye contact with someone you didn't before. You never paid attention to. Lift your eyes out of a device through the hallway, smile at someone, and just create that. That is in itself a way to create psychological safety.
Absolutely. When people feel like you like them, they're
Yes.
likely to like you.
Yes. Isn't it wild?
It is wild. It is wild. Well, Kate, I want to thank you so much for everything that you've shared with us today. Your infectious excitement and energy got me off the charts here. Can you
Oh.
tell my audience where they can find you?
Yes. So you've been so kind. Thank you. Right there. You could see the website listed. My primary source, my favorite source of connecting with people, I have to say, is LinkedIn. Kate Bays, find me on LinkedIn. While I have the website there, and while I have the YouTube channels for Heart Shaped HR and Virtual Agility, I just really love that ability to connect with people and follow their what's going on in their career, celebrate a small win with them, celebrate a birthday, whatever it is, have a virtual coffee chat. That lights me up.
All right. So if you want to practice some of this interpersonal connection,
Mm.
this is a great person to talk to. So go find her on LinkedIn, Kate Bays. Kate Bays on LinkedIn. That's the best place. It's the easiest
Yes.
place to get in touch with her. So I recommend that you do that. That's how we got in touch too. So
Great.
she's a connector too. Really fun. Thank you so much, Kate, for your time and your energy. And we
Thank
will see
you.
you next time here on the Engaged Employee Podcast.
Thanks, Coach Lee.
Another insightful episode of the Engaged Employee Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the deep dive into the world of employee engagement, leadership, and workplace dynamics. The Engaged Employee Podcast is brought to you by the Patterns of Possibility, where we help people make more meaningful relationships in both their personal and professional life. Before we wrap up, we want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our incredible guests and, of course, our loyal listeners. Your support keeps us motivated to bring you valuable content each week. If you found today's discussion thought-provoking and want to learn more about how we can help you or your organization make more meaningful relationships, go to patternsofpossibility.com and book a friendly conversation with me. Or you can email me your questions at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com. Stay connected with us and engage with fellow listeners by following the Patterns of Possibility on LinkedIn. You can also catch us on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to stay in the loop. And if you prefer the audio version, make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Your support means the world to us, and by subscribing, you'll never miss an episode. Thank you for being a part of our journey to create workplaces where passion meets productivity. Until next time, I'm Coach Lee. Stay engaged, stay inspired.